Pleasure to meet you all virtually. Thanks to Oscar and everyone at GE Oil for providing S.A.S the opportunity to come and speak at this amazing event. As Oscar mentioned, my name's Artie, and I'm the channel account manager here at S.A.S, and I have the pleasure of working with our partners in North and South America. So I work very closely with Oscar and the team in order to not only identify areas that FME and S.A.S software can help provide value from an enterprise data integration perspective, but also help the customers that are currently using FME in order to expand their footprint throughout the organization as well. And today we're going to talk about a brief history of S.A.S software. We're going to go over some of the data challenges that we typically see within organizations. We'll talk about the FME platform. We have a couple of customer success stories that are very catered towards the oil and gas industry, but I will lay the understanding of I'm not a technical expert of FME, unfortunately. I have people that are much smarter than myself at S.A.S and Oscar as well to rely on from a technical perspective. So any questions that I won't be able to answer myself, I'll be sure to find out the answer and follow up with the GE Oil team to help provide that answer to you. And then we'll talk about some of the resources, some of the support that we have available as well. So, jumping right into it, we love talking about this because the world's most valuable source of resource is no longer oil, but it's actually data. And the reason why we believe this, and this is something that our partners over at Gartner believe as well, is because organizations are requiring more access to information every single day, and they're acquiring more data on a daily basis. So, with this being a direction that most organizations are heading into, we want to make sure that businesses have a proper automated way of accessing their data, cleansing their data, and connecting their data without having to worry about any sort of human error or any sort of human intervention in most cases. So with FME, the platform is a no-code environment. Of course, you're able to scale it with any sort of scripting language like Python, R, or REST if you wish, but it's not necessary to have any coding background in order to run FME because it was built in a very visual and GUI-based perspective. So these are the common data challenges that we see within the full picture. The executive team sometimes has to ask IT to generate multiple different reports and connected multiple different systems. And of course, we know that organizations, a lot of times, they purchase the best fit tools for their department or for their needs. And what that does is that ends up causing what we call data silos. So, a separation of or segmentation of applications that don't necessarily connect to one another or speak to one another. And creating that level of connection can sometimes be a bit of a headache for organizations as well. So, this usually causes a lot of financial restraints, or it causes a lot of division amongst department functions as well. So when these data challenges exist, we like to bring in the conversation of FME as a data integration platform. So an automated integration workflow is really important for organizations. So, whether you're a oil and gas, for instance, and you're trying to look at your data as far as how the wells are operating and, being able to map where the wells are, you need access to this data to flow freely between each of the applications in order to get your job done efficiently. And by implementing and leveraging a platform such as FME for data integration, you're enabling your staff to use the best fit applications for their purpose and to focus your efforts on innovation rather than focusing your efforts on repetitive integrated tasks or requiring individuals that could be leveraged for more revenue generating aspects of the organization or more resource necessary organizations, to not have to focus on just coding and scripting. So this is our mission here at S.A.S Software. Our mission is very simple. Our mission at S.A.S Software is to help organizations maximize the value of their data, no matter where it's stored, what applications you're using or looking to use, and who needs to get access to that application. Again, with S.A.S Software, it's a no-code environment. We don't require any sort of coding language or scripting to be done out of the box for the platform. If you want to customize, if you want to add any special functionality to it, you have that capability, but it's not necessary. And I'll go into that detail a little bit shortly. So a brief background of S.A.S Software. We were founded in 1993 by our two co-founders, Don Murray and Dale Lutz. They were working with a lot of organizations and local companies here in Canada, and they saw that these companies were facing a lot of data challenges and data integration issues. And that's where the idea for FME essentially was born. Today, our data integration platform, FME, helps over 10,000 organizations worldwide. And these include oil and gas, local government, as well as telecommunications. We're known for our ability to address complex data challenges, mostly created by location-based data. And FME is a global leader when it comes to offering the best support for spatial data integration. And we believe very strongly in that. We have some very solid partnerships with some key geospatial organizations. And that's always our focus, and it always will be our focus, is to focus on spatial data, but also focus on non-spatial data at the same time. As I'm sure Oscar mentioned, we are a software vendor, so we don't provide services or support, unfortunately, directly to customers. We instead rely on a network of partners that we have globally, such as GE Oil and Colombia, in order to provide customized services, support, implementation, training to our customers as well. So we work very closely with our partners in order to best service the clients to the full extent. So here's an overview of the FME integration platform. We're very flexible. We offer multiple deployment options. We're very vendor agnostic. We have essentially three products, if you will. So the first one is the FME desktop. FME desktop is where you go and build your workflows and you build your integration layers. And once you build the integration layers and you build the workflows and you've started to run some jobs and you're looking into automating those workflows to run automatically, that's where you go into FME server. And FME server is essentially the automated workflow and task scheduler. And with FME desktop and FME server, you can deploy it in any of your current virtual environments, whether it's Google Cloud or Amazon, AWS, Alibaba. We're very flexible from that perspective. If you are an organization that doesn't want to worry about hosting a server on your own infrastructure, we also have FME Cloud as an option as well. And FME Cloud is exactly FME server. It's the same tool and the same platform, with the only exception being that with FME Cloud, S.A.S Software hosts the deployment in our AWS environment. So S.A.S Software pays the fees for the infrastructure, and the customer gets the benefit of using FME server in the cloud without worrying about the infrastructure costs or the infrastructure setup. And the partners such as GE Oil, can help the client manage their FME cloud environment and be able to scale up and scale down the servers as required. So our FME platform enables you to connect data between applications using a visual interface. We offer a library of connectors and transformers, which enable data to be used and shared in whatever application that is best fit for your purpose. And then when you bring in the concept of automation with FME Server, it frees you and the team of the burden of repetitive tasks and manual tasks. And it ensures that the latest information that you're receiving is always available to those who need it in order to make strategic business decisions. Connecting data from multiple different sources allows you to empower business decisions with all the information that is available at your disposal. FME, we support geospatial data, we support structured data, unstructured data, linked, time series, and more. And as I mentioned, FME out of the box is a no-code environment. But if you want to extend the capabilities of FME with custom connectors, we enable that through REST, R, Python, and any other technologies that you have that you want to code or script with. We love showing this slide specifically at SAFE because it truly shows the extent of where we started from and where we've gone as far as supporting different data sources and data types. So as you can see, back in 1993 or 1993, it was mostly from a CAD to GIS perspective. You know, organizations were looking to convert and transform CAD files to GIS or GIS files to CAD, and they were using FME for that. As the years went on, and as the industry needs expanded, and as our customers' need expanded, so did FME, and that's why we added support for databases. We support many databases now. We support BIM. We support the cloud, big data. We support business intelligence, indoor mapping. We have a very close partnership with Apple on their IMDF side, and when it comes to any sort of indoor mapping project that Apple is involved with, they always recommend FME for the data transformation and data conversion side. And of course, as the world is progressing into the world of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and virtual reality and augmented reality, this is something that FME and SAFE Software are looking at very closely, and we're ensuring that our platform is able to provide the support for the future as well. And this list will always be growing. So as we learn about new data types and new data sources, and it makes sense for the capabilities of the platform, we're always going to be looking at adding it to our toolbox. Closely at SAFE Software. We're a Esri partner. We're a partner of OGC, CityWorks, Hexagon, Google Cloud, Microsoft, IBM, Autodesk, and very recently, we formed a partnership with an amazing company called Snowflake. If you're not familiar with Snowflake, they are a cloud data warehouse platform, and they added a spatial component to their platform that FME now directly supports a reader and writer for. Oops, let's skip the slide. So as I mentioned, FME has a library of transformers, and this library of transformers enables you to integrate your data to suit the best for fit applications and formats and standards that you as an organization have chosen. This increases the value of your data by making it usable wherever, whenever, however it's needed. Within the FME transformers, we have data validation capabilities, which help provide high quality assurance, and you can easily expand your workflows to include new data sources as they become available. At SAFE Software and FME, we don't charge for connectors. Our pricing model is very simple, and Oscar and the GOL team would be more than capable of discussing that with you. But As more support for data sources becomes available, once it's implanted into FME, it becomes available for our customers right away as well at no additional cost or fees. Now we talk about the concept of automation with FME Server, and automation helps you save time and ensure that the data that you're looking to access arrives on time. With FME, once again, you create all of your automation for transformation and events in a GUI-based workflow, as you can see with the example. You can set up business rules that trigger workflows to run on schedule and in response to specific events. So an update to a database or an email, it can be scheduled to run automatically with FME Server. And the automation and the pass-fail aspect of the workflow can be sent to you via notification, either through SMS, email, or even through Microsoft Teams or Slack. So you can, for example, set up a data upload service that provides validation and a detailed pass-fail report, which accepts past data, or you could securely provide data however it's needed for self-serve access. With FME Server, performing these complex manual tasks of automating and scheduling is a thing of the past. And now you can have your staff focus on areas where they can continue to add more value, or in other areas where they can continue to help generate more revenue and not have to worry about, again, scripting or coding in any way, shape, or form. These are some of the key markets that S.A.S Software supports. We work with clients in many different organizations and industries, including utilities, local government, telecom, oil and gas, of course, energy, and we've also been working a lot on the commercial side too. Very recently, S.A.S Software was recognized in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for data integration tools, as you can see over here. We're very proud of this, and of course, this wouldn't have been able to be done without the help of our partners in any way. And we're very proud of where we stand within the Magic Quadrant. If you want to get a more detailed report of the Magic Quadrant, you can always visit safe.com/Gartner in order to generate the full report from Gartner. So now we talk about FME and oil and gas. And then these are the two examples that I mentioned earlier. So the first example of FME and oil and gas is a customer of ours, Devon Energy, and they're one of the largest independent natural and gas producers in the United States. And they specialize in onshore exploration and production in North America. So the project that they had was to convert any directional data and survey data for their wells from surface offset values, which was given in depths and angles, to Cartesian coordinates. And this was something that was very manual for them before, and it was very difficult for them to manage internally without any sort of automation in place. So now, once they purchased FME and they started to leverage FME, they now use FME to perform those calculations for the conversion, and they measure the depth to the XYZ coordinate. So what this did for Devon Energy is the well surveys were processed, the workflow, and are written back to the geoscience database with the XY offsets and a latitude, longitude offset for each station. It helped save hours of manual calculations, which was done previously by humans, and it also helped reduce the human error so that individual can focus on other areas of business and not worry about managing manual tasks. And this is a great quote that we got from our contact at Devon Energy. FME is allowing them to have the confidence in their wellbore locations by giving them the capabilities of processing them in-house with full control of the parameters. And I also have the link to the full customer success story here, which Oscar also has, and he can definitely share with everyone. Next up is another customer of ours, more locally here in the Canadian market, Shell Canada. As you know, Shell is a part of a global group of companies, and they play a key role in meeting the world's energy needs, and are longtime users of FME. And their project was to make important 3D spatial data available to non-technical stakeholders. So the individuals that needed access to this information did not have a GIS background, they did not have a software background. These were essentially decision makers, and these were essentially the executive team who needed access to this information, but had no automated and potential way of accessing it without having to go to IT or anyone else within your organization to ask for that to be created. So once they started to use FME, now Shell Canada can visualize their detailed 3D models of their assets in order to make important business decisions that are heavily dependent on spatial information without using GIS. And this was done through FME's automated workflows to ensure that users can get information they need without straining the GIS team. So now this workflow is very automated, so they're not needing to go back to the GIS team and ask for this information. They can just get their 3D PDF reports automatically, and this is helping increase the speed of decision-making for the non-technical staff that this information and report was truly important for. And this is another quote that we got from Shell Canada. 3D PDF is a perfect way to distribute this information, and their business users are using Adobe Acrobat Reader, which they're very familiar with, and they can still provide them with information of the depth of the information that they need. And of course, again, the success story is listed at the bottom there that you can view at your leisure. So in addition to having our wonderful partners such as GE Oil to provide services and support to our customers, we also have a whole bunch of free resources available for our customers as well. We have the FME community where you could engage with other people at SAFE and other customers. We have the knowledge and training where we provide articles, tutorials, and live on-demand training. All of our training, all of our resources are free of charge. We don't charge for any of that. And of course, we always have the technical support available as well. And you can always engage with them through live chat. And if you have any doubts with anything, you can always ask them a question through live chat. With SAFE software, we have multiple flexible options for every size of deployment. And we offer three main pricing options for customers. First, we have the perpetual licensing option if you want to purchase individual licenses of FME server and FME desktop. We have the cloud deployment option, which is more of a pay-as-you-go model or an hourly cost of FME cloud. And for the larger deployments and for more organizations that are looking to deploy FME in a much more simpler fashion without worrying about cost, we have which are ideal in order to not only expand FME throughout the enterprise, but be able to, in some cases, leverage as much FME as you need in a production and a staging environment in order to ensure that your project's timelines are met. These are the different operating systems and deployment options that we support. Again, SAFE software is data agnostic, so whether you want to deploy on Windows, Mac, Linux, Docker, Kubernetes, completely up to you. We support all these major operating systems and more. And again, the choice of how you deploy it is completely up to you. If you also want to deploy FME in your virtual Google Cloud or Microsoft Azure, we are on those cloud marketplaces as well. So you're able to purchase the FME platform from a bring your own license perspective and deploy it on the Google Cloud. And same goes for the Microsoft Azure Cloud marketplace. And lastly, we offer a free trial of FME. So you can visit safe.com/trial to download a trial of FME desktop and FME server. And that's the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see if there's any questions.